A balance between the old and the modern Belarus is a place where contemporary life unfolds amidst traditional infrastructure and regulations. Recognized for its solid education system, the country hosts more than 8,000 educational institutions, with a student population of 2 million across various educational levels. Additionally, it boasts an impressive literacy rate of 99%. From preschool to higher education, the quality of education is certified at all levels. The bilingual approach of the education system, with Belarusian and Russian as official languages, allows students to learn both from an early age. The Belarusian government directs its efforts to boost science and technology, aiming for economic progress and innovation. This focus has led to a high Human Development Index, placing the country 20th in the global education ranking in recent years. With academic success, Belarusian students have excelled in international competitions, attracting more than 20,000 foreign students from over 107 countries to study in Belarus. Despite being known for its lakes and natural parks, in Belarus, it's prohibited to consume alcohol and tobacco in public spaces like parks. These restrictions contribute to maintaining cleanliness in the country, with parks and roads free of litter. Although it's a relatively young state in terms of development, Belarus still has a long way to go. Share your opinion below and check out the video about a country from the former Soviet Union available on the screen. See you there. The wait for service can reach 30 minutes, which may displease those with busy lives and impatience, becoming a potential source of boredom in the country. It's essential to understand that Belarusians value courtesy and expect respect in all interactions, a constant expectation. Moreover, it's common to leave a tip equivalent to 10% of the meal's value as a gesture of appreciation. Among Belarusian typical dishes, dranik stands out, a hot potato pancake mainly served for breakfast, and borscht, a traditional soup from Eastern Europe, known for its red or purple color due to beetroots, meat, vegetables, and garlic. If someone plans to move to the country, it's important to be financially prepared from the start. Finding a job offering an income of $400 to $500, equivalent to a minimum of 1,000 rubles, is crucial. However, with this amount, saving can be challenging. The average cost of apartments does not exceed $400, plus electricity and water expenses, which sum up to an average monthly of $50. It's worth noting that until last year, these apartments were significantly cheaper. However, due to increased immigration from Russia and Ukraine, prices have risen considerably. Additionally, it's important to mention that these apartments are usually old and may not be fully furnished. Most residences in Belarus consist of buildings at least 30 years old. Maintaining order in Belarus, between control and appearance. Public order in Belarus is largely maintained by the discreet presence of civilian police. In the streets and public places, it's more common to encounter plainclothes officers than uniformed police, which blurs the perception of who the security observers are. For example, shared bathrooms in nightclubs, where men and women use the same facilities, could raise security questions, but it's effectively controlled by the police. Tourism, alongside the remaining industries from the Soviet period, plays a crucial role in the country's economy. Therefore, authorities seek to project a positive image of Belarus on the international stage. However, freedom of movement is strictly regulated, mainly due to the current dictatorial regime. Criticism or opposition to the president is prohibited and subject to serious consequences. Despite efforts to attract tourists, many potential visitors hesitate to invest or spend extended periods in Belarus due to political repression. Not long ago, the country witnessed widespread protests against the president. But, interestingly, Lukashenko continues to win elections by overwhelming margins, while the opposition suffers consecutive defeats. While cultural and entertainment life in Belarus is vibrant, the harsh climate can be a hurdle for some visitors. Winters are particularly severe, with average temperatures around 24 degrees in January. This makes spring and September the most popular times to visit the country. Regarding financial life, the minimum wage is around 940 reais, while the average salary revolves around $400. Food prices, especially fruits and vegetables, are relatively high due to their import from warmer climate regions. On the flip side, in Belarus, people have the option to buy 1 kilo of ground meat or chicken breast for the same price. This aspect attracts protein enthusiasts, being a reason for many to visit the country. For example, the average price of red meat ranges between $5 to $8 per kilo, and unfortunately, a simple meal in a typical Belarusian restaurant costs no less than $10. While over 80% of the population follows the Orthodox faith, Catholics and members of other religions are a discrete minority, contrasting with the Catholic predominance in much of the European continent. Nevertheless, Belarus stands out for its lower proportion of Russian language speakers compared to Russia. This cultural proximity fuels a strong affinity with Russia, although Belarus, while seeking modernization, also distances itself from certain aspects of the Russian model, leaning towards the Western European paradigm. However, controversial issues such as the death penalty persist as points of contention. President Lukashenko, in power since 1994, maintains support for capital punishment, even in the face of intense criticism from the Western world. However, it is notable that executions in Belarus are rare, with only a few occurrences, such as the 2 death sentences following the Minsk metro bombing in 2011. Lukashenko, the last dictator of Europe, as dubbed by European media, is criticized for his government's lack of compliance with the democratic standards expected in the region. For many decades, Belarus has been isolated from the world, making it difficult for tourists to visit the country due to strict visa requirements. Recently, however, there has been a gradual opening for foreign tourism. In 2017, Belarus allowed citizens from 74 countries to visit the country for up to 5 days without a visa, a concession that was recently extended to 30 days. For Brazilians, the situation is even more favorable due to a bilateral agreement between Brazil, Belarus, and Russia, allowing a stay of up to 90 days without a visa in both countries, regardless of the means of arrival. However, it's necessary to have valid medical insurance covering at least 10,000 euros and to present proof of sufficient financial means for the stay at a minimum of $25 per day or $525 per month. This can be in cash, traveler's checks, securities, or a recent bank statement. Currently, Belarus faces no major challenges in terms of public security, but order is maintained more through a system of fear than a culture of civility. Although nightlife and alcohol consumption are common, crime rates are controlled. The last bastion of dictatorship in Europe. Belarus, also known as Belarus, stands as one of the last remnants of dictatorial rule in Europe. A nation that shared an intimate history with the now-defunct Soviet Union. Its geography strategically places it in the northern part of the continent, bordered to the west by Poland, to the north by Lithuania and Latvia, and to the east and south by Ukraine and Russia. Despite not matching the vastness of Russia, Belarus's 207,000 square kilometers provide a home for 9.5 million people, offering a relatively peaceful and spacious environment. The low population density contributes to the country's internal stability, defining its vast plains and extensive marshlands. Since its declaration of independence in 1991, Belarus has emerged as a sovereign nation, yet its ties with Russia remain close and symbiotic. Despite being sandwiched between the distinct cultures of Europe and Russia, Belarus stands out for its proximity to the Eastern Giant. Belarusian leaders don't shy away from showing their loyalty to Moscow and Vladimir Putin, nurturing a relationship that seems deeply rooted in Russian culture. A closer look at history reveals a past marked by constant conflicts between Russia and Poland until the 20th century. This dynamic continues to influence the region's geopolitics, shaping Belarus's identity and interests on the international stage. A geopolitical chessboard. Throughout the tumultuous course of history, Belarus's borders have been shaped by the hands of the Russian, Polish, and Austrian empires. During the Great War, the Germans occupied Belarusian territory, but their fleeting domination was dispersed by Germany's defeat. Taking advantage of the turmoil resulting from the German occupations and the upheavals in the Russian Empire, Poland expanded its borders, absorbing parts of Belarus. Belarus then joined the Soviet Union, adding its lands to the already vast Soviet territory. The possibility of the region being coveted by Europe is not mere speculation, given its strategic geographic location. Moreover, the close linguistic and cultural ties between the Belarusian people and Russia add an additional layer of complexity.